Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you were listening, truly listening, but you missed something, not just a word, but the entire point? Maybe you were in a noisy cafe or on a bad phone connection. We've all been there. It's frustrating. It reminds us that listening is more than just hearing words. It's an active, powerful skill. This skill forms the very foundation of effective communication and language acquisition. My goal today is to show you how we can develop this crucial skill in our language classrooms. As language teachers, we know that listening serves as the critical gateway to language acquisition, and yet it's often the most challenging skill to teach effectively. Many of our current approaches fall short of developing true listening fluency. This brings us to a fundamental question. Are we teaching students to just hear, or are we teaching them to truly listen? The distinction is vital. To answer that question, we need to introduce two cognitive superpowers that are essential for effective listening. The first is bottom-up processing. This is the detailed analytical approach that builds understanding from the smallest pieces of language, working from individual sounds and words up to larger units of meaning. The second is top-down processing. This is the strategic, predictive approach that uses a listener's existing knowledge and context to interpret the overall message. Unlocking true listening fluency requires developing both of these complementary processes in our students. Let's dive into the first superpower. I like to call bottom-up processing the detective. This is the act of building understanding from raw data. It's analytical and detail-oriented. This detective focuses on identifying every individual sound, every word, every grammatical structure. This meticulous approach is particularly crucial for a number of situations. It's vital for beginning language learners when understanding unfamiliar accents and when decoding complex technical information. It's the skill you use when you need to capture very specific details like names, numbers, or dates. Now for the second superpower, top-down processing, the strategist. This is all about using what we already know. The strategist leverages prior knowledge about the topic, the situation, and the cultural context to make educated guesses. Instead of focusing on every single word, this approach starts with the big picture, concentrating on the overall meaning and the speaker's intent. This allows us to fill in gaps and maintain understanding even when parts of the message are missed or unclear. So why do we need both? Think of a truly effective listener. They're like a skilled detective and an architect combined. They can meticulously examine the evidence, the details, and grammar, while also seeing the blueprint of the entire conversation. We need the analytical detail of bottom-up processing and the contextual insight of top-down processing to achieve a state of integrated and complete comprehension. They aren't in opposition. They work in tandem to create true understanding. So, how do we put this into practice? Let's start with some activities to develop our students' bottom-up detective skills. A great one is dictogloss. You read a short text twice, and students jot down keywords before working in pairs to reconstruct the complete text, forcing them to focus on exact language. Another is minimal pairs practice, which trains students to distinguish between similar sounds like ship and sheep through focused listening exercises. Finally, we can use targeted cloze exercises, where we remove specific grammatical words like prepositions or articles from a transcript to build awareness of these elements in natural speech. Now, let's strengthen our students' top-down strategist skills. One of the most powerful activities is what I call prediction power. You start by showing a single image related to the listening content. Then you ask your students to predict the vocabulary and the potential story or narrative. After they listen, they compare their predictions to the actual content and discuss how their expectations influence their comprehension. This simple but effective process trains students to actively engage with context and activate their background knowledge before they even start to listen. So how does this all come together in a single lesson? We can implement an integrated approach with a simple 4-step process. Step 1. Pre-listening. Activate background knowledge and make predictions. That's our top-down preparation. Step 2. First listen. Focus on the gist and main ideas without worrying about the details. Confirm or adjust your initial predictions, a primarily top-down task. Step 3. Second listen. Now listen for specific information and details, completing focused tasks. This is where the bottom-up skills come into play. Step 4. Post-listening. Integrate the information from both processes and apply what you've learned to new contexts. As teachers, our next steps are clear. We should audit our current listening activities to see if they develop both processing types. We need to explicitly teach our students about these complementary listening strategies. We can design scaffolded activities that gradually integrate both approaches and provide opportunities for students to reflect on their own listening processes. When we teach our students to truly listen, not just to hear, we are doing more than just teaching a language. We are opening the door to deeper language acquisition and genuine communication. We are giving them the tools they need to connect with the world. Thank you.